In May of 1962, a small crew in Centralia, Pennsylvania, did something the town had done every year without incident. They burned a pile of trash in a landfill near the local cemetery ahead of Memorial Day. By most accounts, it was a routine cleanup. Nobody realized that this particular landfill sat directly above an opening into the abandoned coal mines running underneath the entire town, and somewhere in that fire, a spark found its way down into the coal seam itself. More than 60 years later, that fire has never gone out. It's still burning right now, underneath what used to be a town of over 1,000 people. To understand how a trash fire turns into something that can't be extinguished for centuries, you need to understand what was actually underneath Centralia. The town sat on top of a massive underground network of coal mines, connected to a vein of anthracite coal, a particularly dense, high-carbon type of coal, known for burning slowly but at very high temperatures once it gets going. When the 1962 fire reached that seam, it stopped being a fire in the normal sense. It became something closer to a slow, self-sustaining underground furnace, with an essentially unlimited fuel source stretching for miles in every direction beneath the town. For the first several years, most residents had no idea anything unusual was happening at all. The fire was underground, invisible, and the visible signs were subtle enough to dismiss. A little extra warmth in a basement here, some soil that never seemed to hold snow the way it used to nearby. It wasn't until 1979 that the scale of the problem became impossible to ignore, when a local gas station owner decided to check the temperature of the fuel in his underground storage tank out of simple curiosity. It measured at 172 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough that gasoline stored inside was at serious risk of igniting on its own. Even that wasn't the moment that finally forced the town's hand. That came in 1981, when a 12-year-old boy named Todd Domboski was walking through his grandmother's backyard and the ground beneath him simply gave way. He fell into a sinkhole that had opened up without warning, 4 feet wide and estimated at over 150 feet deep, filled with steam and dangerously high concentrations of carbon monoxide rising up from the fire below. He survived only because his cousin managed to pull him out by his hand in the seconds before the fumes could take effect. That incident is widely credited as the turning point that made the danger to the town undeniable. Once federal and state agencies got seriously involved, the numbers coming back from the investigation were bad enough that evacuation became almost the only realistic option. Carbon monoxide levels in some homes were measured at concentrations that could be lethal within a short period of continuous exposure. Ground temperatures in certain areas were recorded well above what's survivable for any plant or structure sitting directly above them. In 1984, Congress approved more than $40 million to relocate most of the town's residents, and over the following years, nearly the entire population left. Homes were demolished, and Centralia's zip code was formally revoked by the United States Postal Service in 2002, a move that, practically speaking, erased the town from official existence. What makes this story stranger than a simple story of a fire and an evacuation is what happened next. Or rather, what didn't. Multiple attempts were made over the decades to actually extinguish the fire, using methods that range from flushing it with water and dirt to attempting to physically excavate and remove burning coal seams. All of them failed, largely because of the sheer scale of the fire and the mine network it was spreading through, combined with the prohibitive cost of any solution large enough to actually work. Geological surveys conducted since have estimated that, left unaddressed, the fire has enough coal available to continue burning anywhere from another 100 to 250 years. A small number of residents, by some counts fewer than 10, actually refused to leave, and after a long legal battle with the state over eminent domain, several were eventually granted the right to remain in their homes for the rest of their lives. Today, what's left of Centralia is mostly empty grid streets with no houses on them, cracked pavement occasionally still faintly warm to the touch in certain spots, and steam still visibly rising from cracks in the ground in a handful of locations decades after most of the buildings themselves were torn down. The town has, somewhat unexpectedly, become something of a dark tourism destination. Visitors occasionally travel specifically to see the smoke rising from the ground, and Centralia has been widely cited as one of the real-world locations that helped inspire the abandoned, smoke-filled town depicted in the Silent Hill video game and film franchise, even though the fictional version dramatically exaggerates the danger compared to what actually remains today. What's genuinely strange about Centralia isn't really the fire itself. Underground coal fires, while uncommon, aren't unheard of, and there are dozens of similar fires still burning quietly in various coal-producing regions around the world. What's strange is the timeline, a small, forgettable act of cleanup, the kind of routine burn that had probably happened safely dozens of times before in the same town, connected by pure chance to exactly the wrong opening in exactly the wrong mine seam. 60 years, a federal relocation, an entire town wiped off the map, all traced back to a single spark that found its way somewhere it was never supposed to reach. And that, once it got there, turned out to be functionally impossible to ever call back.